Hello, and welcome back to Boomerang. If you've ever been in a relationship with someone who seems perfectly fine one day and then distant the next, someone who avoided deep emotional conversations, needed excessive alone time, and even disappeared on you emotionally without a warning, this episode is for you. Today, we are talking about dismissive avoidant attachment, the attachment style that prioritizes independence over intimacy. Let's unpack this together. Dismissive avoidant attachment is one of the 4 main attachment styles. It is characterized by emotional distance, self-reliance, and deep resistance to vulnerability. These individuals often dismiss the importance of closeness. They also suppress emotions and prioritize their independence over relationships. Relationships actually are not a priority. The key traits of a dismissive avoidant attacher are the following. Number 1, high self-sufficiency and reluctance to depend on others. 2, emotional suppression, minimizing or ignoring their own emotions. 3, discomfort with deep intimacy and vulnerability. 4, difficulty trusting others and avoiding reliance on them. 5, tendency to downplay relationships and prioritize personal freedom. At first glance, dismissive avoidance may appear confident, independent, and even charismatic. They may have a busy social life and appear to function just fine in friendships and casual dating. But beneath this exterior is often a deep-seated belief. I am unworthy of love, and if I let someone in, they will leave or disappoint me. You may ask, how does this attachment style develop? Like all attachment styles, dismissive avoidant tendencies are often shaped in childhood. If a caregiver was unresponsive, emotionally distant, or discouraged displays of vulnerability, a child learns that expressing emotions is pointless or even dangerous. Common childhood experiences that lead to this dismissive avoidant attachment are caregivers who are emotionally unavailable, cold or distant, being discouraged from expressing emotions, like saying to them, stop crying or toughen up. Learning that emotional reliance on others leads to rejection or disappointment. Feeling like affection or attention had to be earned through achievement. Experiencing rejection when trying to express needs. Children in these environments adapt to becoming self-sufficient. They suppress emotions, avoid deep connection, and learn that relying on others is not safe. These patterns carry on into adulthood, often shaping their relationships. There's a common feature that you'll see with DAs, the silent goodbye. This is how most avoidants handle relationships. For example, ever been in a relationship with someone who seems to love you one moment and then withdraw the next? This is common with dismissive avoidants. They can be even charming and exciting, but the moment the relationship starts demanding deeper intimacy, they begin to retreat. Common dismissive avoidant behaviors in relationships are, for example, emotional distance and avoidance. They emotionally shut down, suppress their feelings and avoid deep conversations, and they resist physical affection unless they are the ones who initiate it. They often fear commitment and intimacy, so in that case, they'll pull away after moments of closeness. They'll talk themselves out of that relationship, and then they're going to struggle with emotional vulnerability. The other thing they do is they often flaw-find to justify their withdrawal. They focus on minor issues in their partner, using them as reasons to distance themselves or leave the relationship entirely. They also have an overemphasis on independence. They reject emotional support, they prefer solitude, and they strongly assert their self-sufficiency. I don't need anyone. Then they abruptly end things, especially when there's conflict involved. They'll break up suddenly when things get serious and withdraw instead of addressing relationship issues or conflicts. One of the hardest things about loving a dismissive avoidant is the silent goodbye. When avoidants feel overwhelmed by closeness, they often leave abruptly, physically or emotionally, without explaining why. For their partners, it feels like one day everything was fine, and then the next they were gone. To maintain emotional distance, avoidants often use deactivating strategies. These are subconscious ways they push love away before it gets too close. Examples of deactivating strategies are refusing to commit but staying in the relationship nonetheless, avoiding discussing feelings or the future does not feature, being unfaithful as a way to sabotage intimacy, just to show that they're really not close to you, they can still find somebody else. So to maintain their independence, they still keep one foot out the door. Criticizing their partner to create distance. You'll be overly criticized even for the smallest thing, and that will give them justification for just not looking for you. They focus on their partner's flaws instead of their emotions. So they're not even going to think about emotions. They're just going to say, you've got a problem, this is why we're fighting, it's all your fault. They break up as soon as they begin to feel trapped. These strategies aren't about caring. They're about fear. And when you understand that fear is the underlying emotion, you'll understand that their fear is actually because they don't want to be vulnerable and they fear being hurt. That's all. It's nothing complicated. But the good news is, dismissive avoidant attachment is not a life sentence. Change is possible, but it requires awareness, effort, and practice. So to the dismissive avoidant, this is how to heal your attachment. Recognize the patterns you use to avoid people and circumstances. Start by noticing when you are pushing people away. Identify your emotional triggers. There is something that triggers you to behave the way you do. So what you do is when you feel the urge to withdraw, seek and find out, why am I doing this? Try vulnerability. Practice it. You don't just become vulnerable without trying. So open up to safe people little by little. Nobody needs to put you under any pressure. All you need to do is try. Challenge your hyper-independence. Why must you be that independent? Learn to accept help sometimes and ease off the pressure and accept emotional support. Then, I know this is difficult, but consider therapy. This could be one of the most useful ways to deal with your attachment issues. Attachment-based therapy can help rewire your deep-seated beliefs about people. Healing doesn't mean you have to let go of your independence, not at all. It means learning that love and autonomy can coexist. So, if you see yourself in this episode, know this: you're not broken. You don't have to face relationships like it's a battlefield. Love isn't about losing yourself. It's about finding someone who respects your space, but also meets you somewhere in the middle. So, thank you for being here on Boomerang. If this resonated, share it with somebody who needs to hear it. And remember, healing is a journey, but you don't have to walk it alone. Till next time, take care. Bye.